Hey, you guys. Hello, hello, hello. It is Wednesday. It is a winning Wednesday. And today we are going to talk about there's no pilots to fly the planes. Oh my gosh. Who's going to fly those planes? I'm not a pilot. I cannot fly, right? Anyway, you guys, so let's have some travel talk. My name is Sonia Jennings. I am a travel consultant. I bring every day, Monday through Thursdays, around 8-ish, between 7 and 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I come on here live and we talk about travel. So I bring you tips and news on travel, how to travel cheaper, safer, smarter, and longer. And so I love the travel industry. It's awesome. But there's so much about travel and I'm learning so much about travel. So I want to thank you guys so much for tuning in. If you are watching this live, please be sure to share it out to anyone that's traveling, right? I always do a lot of analysis on the travel industry and what's going on. And between Thanksgiving and Christmas and the New Year's, right? They are expecting 3.95 million individuals to fly. 3.95 million, right? Individuals to fly, right? And also, they are also expecting 1.48 million people to travel, not the airlines on a plane, but buses and cruises, etc. So it's a lot going on right now in the travel industry. But I want to talk today about what is going on with the pilots that the pilots are on strike. Okay, so first we have some pilots on strike, and so they had. Let's see, because I did take some notes. I was actually watching the news and I read a lot about the travel industry and what's going on. But actually today in Mexico City, they had 32 flights that were canceled, right? Because the because the pilots went on strike because there was a dismissal of one of their colleagues. So because they dismissed this colleague, the pilots decided to go on strike. So 32 flights were canceled today. And then the big news right now is that airlines, the Allied Pilots Association, this is the association that the pilots belong to, they just released a statement saying that there was a glitch in the system. I'm sorry, this hair is just really bothering me tonight. I apologize for that. Let me see if I can stick it behind my ear right here. See if that'll be better. Yes. Okay, so the Allied Pilots Association, they did a statement today. They said it was a glitch in the system, and therefore they scheduled so many pilots off on vacation, right? And so right now they're seeing a huge shortage of pilots. Well, guess what, you guys? If there are shortages of pilots, then guess what? There are going to be a lot of flights being canceled. So I want to come and bring you some tips and things that you can do to protect yourself from your flight being canceled, or for other ways that you can get to your destination if you plan on traveling this busy holiday season. I know that my husband and we are going to be traveling. And so I want to bring you these tips, right? They are offering the pilots 150% of their normal hourly wage to pick up flights over the holidays. They're putting this bulletin out there and they're telling the pilots, hey, we need you guys to come into work. There was a glitch in the system and we scheduled you off and we gave you vacation, but we need you to come back to work. And so one of the things that I want to go over is 6 tips on how you can protect yourself during all of the things that are happening right now. So that way you do not waste your time. You have different alternatives. You have different options for you to travel. One of the things also I want to talk about today is bumping flights. Have you ever been bumped off a flight? Well, I have one time, and I said it would never happen to me again because I was uneducated and I didn't know that I could actually prevent me from being bumped. Okay. Another thing we want to talk about, bumping flights, right? Right now there is a legislation. There's actually an investigation going on right now for airlines that actually bump flights. Okay. And so there's a big talk about it. There's only one airline that I found that has a strict policy that they do not overbook. And when they say they bump you, they overbook these flights. And when these flights are overbooked, then you're scrambling. It's happened to me before on Delta. It has happened to me before on Delta Airlines where we got bumped because the flights were overbooked. And I will tell you the only reason why we got on that flight is because I'll tell you later why we were able to stay on that flight and they bumped someone else. Okay, so there's this strict policy, but they can. We looked at right now, if you think about it, passengers are bumped off of flights. Passengers are bumped off of flights every 16,000 tickets sold. Now you're probably saying 16,000 tickets, that's not bad if they're bumping one person every 16,000 flights. But earlier in this broadcast, I said right now we have for the holiday season 3.95 million people traveling. So 16,000 every 16,000, it's actually a lot, okay? We also saw in a report that they had over 3,000 individuals United Airlines bumped off of their flights. And in March of 2017, this year, over 9,000 individuals were bumped off of 12 carriers. So believe it or not, people are getting bumped. And I will tell you in a few minutes how you can avoid being bumped off of a flight. So let's go through this. I have 6 tips that will help you during your holiday travel. If you're traveling, if you know someone that's traveling, please share this broadcast out. I really appreciate you guys. Also, if you are watching this on the replay, please be sure to hashtag replay, and I will be sure to like your comment or shout you out. And then if you have any comments, if there's anything that you want me to talk about in relating to the travel industry, please drop the comment or send me an inbox, etc. And also, one more thing I want to say before I give these 6 tips. Last night we did a giveaway. Now, people do not follow instructions. We are giving a book away. My Personal Money Control Planner by Delshawn Hayes. She is the hashtag debt slayer, right? And we are giving this, but people do not follow instructions. The instructions were, you like this page. If you haven't liked this page before, you like the page. Then you click on the Learn More button for you to get a free download that gives you 7 pages of travel tips that you can get. It's absolutely free. And then you send a message either on my fan page or go to my timeline and send a message and say, hey, I went ahead and I liked your page. I downloaded the free tips and here I am. I need you to put my name in this bucket and for me to have an opportunity for me to win this My Personal Money Control Planner by Delshawn. Okay, so let's get started, you guys. I've gotten all that stuff out the way. Number 1, book early. Book early. Book your flights early. If you are planning on traveling for the holidays in 2.5 weeks, you should already have your flights. Okay. I had individuals sending me inbox messages. Can you help me get the cheapest way for Thanksgiving? And they were doing this like 7 days or 6 days. I had someone, I think 5 days before. You have to book early. You have to be prepared. You have to schedule out your travel. Things happen, emergencies happen, but Christmas happens the same time every year. Thanksgiving happened the same time every year. Easter, all the holidays, around the same time. Might be different days, but it happens all the time. Hey, Charles, thanks for tuning in. So book early, number 1. Number 2, right? Oh, also book early with trip protection. I cannot say that enough. Book early with trip protection. Check in as early as possible. The earlier you check in, the less chance you have of being bumped off your flight. So check in as early as possible. I'm usually like a hawk when I have to travel, I'm usually looking, okay, I have like 24 hours before, and here I am. I'm just looking to see when I can check in as early as possible. Okay. Number 3, here's something that will prevent you from being bumped off a flight. Okay. Sign up for the frequent flyer program. If you are a frequent flyer member in whatever airlines, if pretty much all the airlines have frequent flyer a frequent flyer program. If you have a frequent flyer, chances are you will not be bumped. That's how when I was being bumped off of the Delta flight, I told them absolutely not. I have to get to my destination. I am a frequent flyer. Here's my number, and I am gonna stay on this flight. And I ended up staying on that flight. Okay, that's number 3. Sign up for frequent flyer program. Number 4, determine your risk. Okay, and what I mean by this is, earlier this week or last week, I did a live, and we were talking about airports being close by. Most of the times we want to fly out the airport that's close to us, the closest to us. But determine your risk, because if your flights are if this airport always has delayed flights or canceled flights, what have you, go ahead and check out the performance of the other airports that's closer to you. Because for me, in Houston, Texas, we have 2 airports, right? We have the Bush Intercontinental Airport or International Airport, and then we have the Hobby Airport, right? And then for me, the distance is not that much of a difference. So what I do is I check to see who has the most. So there's always something going on at Intercontinental Airport, at Bush Intercontinental Airport. Usually Hobby is more mild, etc., etc. So weigh your risk out, see the performance of the flights that they have on time or delayed or canceled. If you do not want to do that work, I am sure that you're using a travel agent. If you're not, you should use travel agents, right? Travel agents are awesome. And so get with your travel agent and let them know, say, hey, I want to know which airport that you're going to book my flights, etc. And which one has the most risk. Okay. Your travel agent would love to give you that information, right? That's why we are here. Okay. Number 5, track the record of the airport. You might need to fly out of an airport closer to you, right? Again, I was telling people how to save, right? How to save. Sometimes your flight might be cheaper, an airport that's 10 minutes further than your closest airport, right? So go ahead and verify. They track records, see their flights, and sometimes, again, it might be the exact same flight, especially if you have a connecting flight. If you leave out of one airport versus the other, you get to the same destination, and you might be able to get that flight cheaper. So do not discount that you have to drive maybe 10, 15 minutes. I know people that will drive 30 extra minutes, right, to get there. My daughter, I'll tell you this, my daughter lives 3 hours away from me, and her flights for her to go to Europe, she did a Europe tour this summer, and her flights were way cheaper. I mean, hundreds of dollars cheaper. And she was like, hey, I will drive 3 hours for me to get to this flight instead of me leaving from the city that I live in. Okay. And so again, check the airports. That was number 5. Number 6, overbooking flights. Again, like I said earlier, there's an investigation going on. There are airlines. They're doing this famous. It's not against the law. So they book these flights. And then what they do when they overbook these flights, then they bump people, right? And again, earlier I said, be sure that you sign up for every frequent flyer program that you possibly can, right? If you love traveling and if you're a frequent traveler, right? And so overbooking flights, right? And so they're trying to do a ban on this, and passengers are really getting really serious about this because think about it. You have to go if it's an emergency, or if not, I travel a lot for business, and sometimes I have to be a certain place at a certain time, especially if I'm traveling overseas, right? If I'm traveling to Europe, it takes a long time, and you have to get a certain flight for you to be there a certain time. Well, just imagine if I would go on there in Delta, which I do fly them, and Delta, overbooks, and then they were like, I'm sorry, we're overbooked. You're gonna have to get bumped. Okay. I know also a lot of people take advantage of overbooked. So if you're not in a hurry and you're like, hey, I'm just chilling, I have plenty of time, I left early, and they offer you to give up your seat, right? They usually give you extra money. They give you the next flight out, and they have other different incentives that they give you. Hey, if you have that leisure time, take advantage of those. By all means, take advantage of those. And so those are my tips. And for travel this busy season, I will be coming here for, I think, probably for the next couple of weeks. When I'm flying, I'll make some live videos, but be sure that you are prepared, because again, the number one thing that's going on right now is that the pilots, right? The pilots are off. Who's gonna fly those planes, right? The pilots, there was a glitch in the system, and 12, I think it was 12 airlines right now, they are calling pilots back to come to work, and they're willing to pay them over, I think it was like 150% of the hourly wage that they are willing to pay them, right, to come back to work because of this glitch in the system. The pilots are like, hey, they got me off. They gave me off for the rest of the year. I'll take it, right? Anyway, you guys, thank you so much for tuning in. I really appreciate you guys. Again, if you are watching this on the replay, you guys are awesome. If you're watching this on YouTube, because I do upload my videos to YouTube, thank you so much. Please subscribe to my channel, and we will talk to you guys on tomorrow, which is Thursday, right? For another episode of Travel Talk. This is Sonia Jennings signing out. Love you guys.